What is going on, you guys? AK-40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. In this box, I have my first ever modded controller. So as you guys probably know on this channel, I have reviewed dozens of premium controllers with paddles, trigger locks, mechanic thumbsticks, etc. From AIM, Scuff, Battle Beaver, Razer, Microsoft Elite 1 and 2, Nacon Revolution, Astro C40, just to name a few. But I've never tried out a modded controller, i.e. one that has a mod chip soldered to the board where you are able to turn on abilities like rapid fire for semi-automatic weapons, auto sprint, drop shot, automatic sniper, breath hold, quick heal, stuff like that. So without further ado, guys, let's crack into this box, see what comes with a Mega Modz. I'm going to do a tutorial showing you guys the mods built onto the chip and how to activate and deactivate them on the fly. There is timestamps down there in the description, which will be reflected on the timeline, so if you want to skip past the unboxing and just get to the tutorial of the mods or get to the PC portion, you can do that. Without further ado, guys, let's crack right into it. Alrighty guys, over here at the Stormtrooper desktop, if you are new to the channel, this is where we do our unboxings as well as custom controller and PC builds. So, breaking into the box here, you are going to have your controller itself. This is a licensed Microsoft Xbox Series S and X controller. It does come with everything that the standard Xbox controller comes with, whether you got one out of the box with your console or you purchased a secondary one. However, you do get a nice 10-foot USB-C cable, which I greatly appreciate because when you buy one of these aftermarket for $40 to $60, depending on the price. They fluctuate on Amazon.com. You get no USB-C controller, but you do get one included when you buy a console, a Series S and X. So that's awesome. And the one that you do get included is like 4 foot. It's very short. You're only going to be using that for charging your controller. Hopefully it's your secondary because you're not really going to be sitting back playing with it plugged in while it's charging. Now you can obviously use the disposables on board. Now, you can obviously use the disposables on board, 2 AA's, or you can get a recharge pack that is linked in the description below. I highly advise any Xbox One or Series controller owner, just get the recharge pack. They're about 15 bucks. They come with 2 batteries and a charger dock, and that way you can constantly just hot swap them, and you'll save a small fortune in disposable batteries over time. So, you get a 14-day trial to Xbox Game Pass, which I do have to say, especially with the recent Bethesda add-ons, there is some really good titles to play on there. You can pause the video if you want. One of you guys will get 14 days free with that there. You do get the 2 Xbox documentations. One is a quick start guide and one is your limited warranty information in there. And one thing that I kind of wish that Mega Modz would include with this controller is some kind of a little printout. It doesn't have to be a color instruction manual, but just a little printout piece of paper that tells you how to activate the mod pack, as you do have to hold a series of buttons to turn it on and off, and also to swap through the sub-modification menus, because a lot of these mods have 2 or 3 variations of them that will be indicated with these 4 LED lights on the front there. So I kind of wish they would include that, because the only way to really know how to turn this on or to get your mods, know how to turn this on or swap between your mods is to Google it, and it's kind of hard to find. I did have to do a little bit of clicking and rummaging around the internet to find it, but once you have it, it's very clear instructions with pictures on their website. I will have it linked in the description below, so you can pull it up on your phone or your PC and know basically how to activate these bad boys. Now, I did order gold face buttons here, however, they were sold out of them, unfortunately, so I just have the standard face buttons on here. However, in a separate video, we are going to disassemble this controller to take a look at the mod chip and mod mechanism that is inside here, and also so I can swap in those gold face buttons to kind of complete that wood grain and gold look that I went for when I was on their online builder. We also will spend a few minutes in their online builder showing you guys the products that they do offer. Now, quick disclaimer, Mega Modz did send this controller out to me, however, they didn't tell me to say anything about it. I'm just giving you guys my full, honest, no BS review as I always do. So, one thing I really do like about this, it is an option that I did add, is the swappable thumbsticks. I absolutely love these. I put these on virtually all of my aftermarket controllers. And this gives you 3 dome sticks and 3 concave sticks in different heights, which I really appreciate. This was just kind of sitting in the box when I opened it up, so that is very nice. And actually, it came with no thumbsticks on it, so you can close the box better without, obviously having extended thumbsticks that are in the way. So I will say build quality is very good. I don't hear any creaks or moans and groans or anything like that. I also do like the fact that they're gold face buttons, i.e. the share button and the pause and options buttons on there actually have a indentation of what function they are. Instead of just being all gold, just all solid gold, they actually have an icon on there. Same thing with the face buttons, which unfortunately, like I said, they were sold out of, but they actually have an etched in A, B, X, Y on there. So that is really cool, because a lot of times when you buy third party, you know, a $10 button set on Amazon or something like that, they're just all gold. And granted, if you play a lot of Xbox, you probably know exactly where the buttons are, but it's still nice to have that little visual indication on there. Bumpers and triggers feel fantastic. They do have the Series S and X rib design on there, so you get a little bit more grip on there, and they are shaved in just a few millimeters, just like the Series S and X controller, which is awesome. And I gotta say, that gold D-pad wheel looks and feels absolutely amazing to the fingertips. Now, I personally like a short dome stick on the left and a tall dome stick on the right. I like a longer stick on the right to give you a little bit more leverage, so you can crank up the sensitivity and get those nice finite movements in there for those precise shots. And on the left stick, since that's just character movement, I really don't care too much, but I do prefer the feeling of dome sticks versus concave sticks. I have all the way back to the PS2 era. So as for the mod chip on board, I did go with the Juggernaut package, which comes with a whole slew, I believe 15 or 18 different onboard mods, which is super awesome. And like I said, a lot of those have sub-mods within them where you can adjust things like speed and hold down time and whatnot. So that is really awesome. Now, I will say, you do not want to use a modded controller in something like a tournament. For one, if it is a physical in-person tournament, they check your controllers to make sure you don't have any kind of a mod pack attached or built into the chip. If you are doing some kind of a remote tournament where obviously you are at your house or whatever, there's no real way of them detecting this. It's not like aimbot or something like that. That's a script you run on your PC or console. However, you just kind of want to go on the honor code that you're not one of those guys that's running a modded controller in a tournament, especially if there is a cash reward or a monetary value associated to that. But for something like a story or campaign mode or zombies, or even I would say as far as, you know, public matches or casual play, if you want to run something like this, as it doesn't give you such an insane advantage to where it's like you're cheating, it's not aimbot or anything like that, but it just makes it a little bit more comfortable to not have to constantly hold down L3 to sprint and not have to, you know, tap L3 while you're aiming down sights to hold a sniper shot. Instead of having to rapidly tap the right trigger for semi-automatic and burst weapons, you can just hold it down and it'll do the work for you. So that's just really cool. Also, I will say the location of their mod button is in a very good spot. If you just hold the controller naturally, you can depress it quickly with the ball of your middle finger here, and then you press the D-pad in a direction to swap through the modes or turn the chip completely on or off, which is really cool. So we're gonna go in the living room, pair it to the Xbox Series S. I'm gonna whip you guys through some of the mods that I personally would leave activated, as you can activate multiple modifications at a time, and which ones I personally have no use for, but a lot of people might, depending on what game you play. Alrighty, boys, in the living room here, playing a little Advanced Warfare. This is against bots right now, so I'm not in an actual ranked match or anything like that. Obviously, as you can see, all the modifications are off. You want to turn something on. For example, this is a semi-automatic pistol, so you have to pull the trigger each time you want to fire a shot. However, if I hold down the mod button and then the right trigger, I now have rapid fire, which, by the way, is actually pretty quick, and if that's not fast enough for you, you can change the sub mode, which we're about to do right now. But now, I mean, that's ridiculously fast. That's that's like submachine gun fire rate right there with a semi-automatic, like a semi-automatic pistol. I doubt that with your trigger finger you're going to be able to fire that quickly, so that's pretty awesome. If you're using a fully automatic weapon, you don't want to use that, obviously, because it will kind of have you shooting in burst fire. But if you're shooting a triple round burst or a semi-automatic weapon, that's awesome. Now, if you want to turn that off, you're just going to hold down the mod button and hit down on the left D-pad, and it will turn it off. You are able to put on one shooting mod, which will be on the top left LED, and then 3 subsequent special functions. So anything that's related to character movement, so drop shots, holding your breath automatically with a sniper rifle, automatically sprinting without pressing down L3. So you can have 3 of those on and a shooting mod. Obviously, you can't have multiple shooting mods because, well, they all use the right trigger. That's the activation function, so they can't stack or anything like that. But we're going to go ahead and turn on. We're going to go ahead and turn on semi-automatic, automatic fire, and then we're also going to. Who's shooting me? How dare you do that to me? Where are you at? Fuck off, dude. And then we're also going to turn on drop shots. You're going to hold down the mod button and press down B. And now, whenever you shoot, oh, that's a jump shot. We're going to modify that. All right, so now we're in drop shot mode. Whenever you pull the trigger, you will drop to the ground. I still do have that full auto for semi-automatic weapons on there. Now to swap through the sub modes for the drop shot / jump shot, as there are 6 different sub modes, one of which is really cool because in Advanced Warfare, if you double tap jump, you will jetpack, and this instantly double taps. So if you just get into a fight and you start shooting somebody, you will jetpack right above them, which is great. So in order to activate that, you're going to hold down the mod button and B, and it's going to give you a flash here. And then you're going to use the triggers to swap through the different... And then you're going to use the triggers, left and right triggers, to swap through the different modes. Takes a little getting used to, I'm not going to lie. There's a little bit of a learning curve here because there is a ton of mods on this thing. So now, I automatically jetpack into the air and get blown out by bots. Now that's but yeah, that's really, really cool. Now I'm going to turn on sniper breath, so you're going to hold down the mod button and press down the L3. Now, if I equip a sniper rifle, as you will see, I no longer need to press down L3 to hold breath, which is really cool. Let me see if I can kill myself real quick. Come on, somebody kill me so I can get a sniper rifle. So now, as you can see, I'm already holding breath. It doesn't even give me the option to press down L3, which is really cool. Now, I'm going to activate quick scope, which is freaking awesome. All you need to do is press down the right trigger. You don't hold it down. That kind of messes with it. You just tap right trigger, and it's going to aim in real quick and shoot. And it's actually really awesome. All right, to activate quick scope, you're going to hold down the mod button and tap the left bumper. Now, if I just press the left trigger, I'll quickly aim down sights and shoot. And also, I don't have to hold breath either because I do have that mod active. So he's basically, with the tap of one button, aiming down sight, holding breath, and shooting, which is super sick. See if I can get a kill like this real quick. Now, these mods do take some getting used to. For example, quick scope, you kind of have to get used to the fact that you're not manually pressing the right trigger, so you need to know how long your guy is going to be ADSing or aiming down the scope before he actually pulls that trigger. And all these mods do take a little bit of getting used to. There definitely is a bit of a learning curve, but once you do, it's super rewarding. And then to clear mods, if I want to go back to completely stock, I'm going to hold down the reset or the mod button and basically press all the buttons associated with the mods that I put on. If I want to put them back on, drop shot, the sniper hold breath, quick scope, then you basically just do that. And again, to go through the sub modes, you're going to hold down the mod button and hold down the button that you initially turned the mod on with. So obviously they have a ton of options when it comes to face plates, back plates, paddles, trigger locks, face buttons, analog sticks, triggers, bumpers, even the touchpad. So tons of customization there. You would kind of expect that from a premium controller manufacturer such as AIM, Scuff, Battle Beaver. But I think what really helps Mega Modz to stand out from the pack is indeed their mod chip. The fact that you can quickly and easily turn this on and off. So obviously if you pick up a fully automatic weapon, you don't want it to where it's simulating, you know, burst firing the trigger. So you're going to turn that off quickly. If you're not using a sniper rifle, there's no reason to have the auto breath hold on. And you can just very quickly turn those features on and off, which I think is really, really cool. Also, that button didn't feel uncomfortable. Granted, it is within fingertip reach, but it doesn't ever feel uncomfortable having that additional button back there. And I went back and forth with the representative over there at Mega Modz, and they are, in the very near future, going to have paddles and trigger locks available for the Sony DualSense 5 as well as the Series X. Right now, you can get paddles and trigger locks on the PS4 and the Xbox One controllers. However, if you want this on the 9th generation consoles, that is in the works right now, and it should not be too much longer. So I feel like that, in combination with a mod chip, these guys are onto something. And honestly, I have to say the build quality felt really good. They were very easy to communicate with. They got back to me very, very promptly. I went back and forth with their representative. Now, I don't know if that's because I am a content creator and I'm doing a review of their controller, so they want to please me, or if they have that same level of attention to every customer. I think it's probably the latter. They seemed very friendly and very, very customer oriented. So that is good, because I have dealt with a lot of companies in the past, specifically custom controller companies that I'm not going to name any names or anything, but they weren't the most polite and helpful. And, you know, when you're paying a premium for a premium controller, you want it to last, you want it to be durable, and you want it to have the features and functions that you would like to have for your uses, whether you're a racer, a shooter, an RPG MMO guy, whatever you want. If you just want a cosmetically beautiful controller, a showstopper, if you will, or you want something that, you know, is for esports, obviously it has paddles, trigger locks. You want not just that, but you want to feel like whoever you purchase from isn't just ripping you off by, you know, upcharging all their parts and stuff like that. And I never really got that vibe from Mega Modz, to be 110% honest. That is why I will be dropping a link in the description below, leading you over to their site where you can get between 10 and 25% off all of their controllers. When I go through the controller creators for, say, for example, a PS4, as you add on a lot of these packages, you will see that a lot of these parts are discounted, and generally when you finish your building and you get to the final checkout, you'll see you've actually generally saved between 10 to 15, sometimes even 20%, depending on what components they're currently running a sale on. So I feel like it's just overall a pretty good value in comparison to other premium controller companies I have tested out there. Now, what is next for this controller here? Well, I am going to be keeping this. I am going to be using it pretty frequently over the next few weeks to try and get an idea of its long-term longevity, for one, and also try and get a little bit more acquainted with some of the mods, because I feel like I was a little bit clunky when it came down to switching the sub modes. Obviously, turning the mods on and off was pretty quick, and I picked up on that quite quickly. But as far as being able to switch the sub modes, I was still a little bit clunky, and some of them I had some difficulty with. And I don't think it is the company's fault. I think it's more so it's a little tricky to switch between the sub modes and whatnot, but there really isn't another way for them to do that unless they had a second function button on the other side, in which that was for the sub modes, and you would hold down that button and then press the concurrent face button, and that would swap through your sub modes. And then if you wanted to just turn the feature on and off, you would use the primary button. That's the only way that I could foresee them getting around how a little bit tricky it is to switch the sub modes. But I do enjoy the fact that there is sub modes, because, you know, with that same function, you can have jump shot, drop shot, double jump shot, slide shot, like all on the same function, which is really cool. I also do like the fact that, as you can see from those 4 illuminated lights there, you can have 1 shooting mod and 3 movement mods or character mods on at once. So you can have 4 things on at once. As you can see during that bot gameplay, I had like jump shot, I had semi-automatic rapid fire, auto sprint, and 1 other one on. So that's just really, really cool. Overall, I'm really satisfied with this controller. Yeah, you know, not to sound bougie, but I do wish that I got those gold face buttons on there. But I am going to be doing a separate video doing a disassembly on this, so we can take a look at the actual mod chip, how it's attached to the board, and then also I can add those face buttons to kind of complete the look that I was trying to go for with the wood grain and gold. I also do like these rubberized grips on the back here. They felt amazing, and they also give you a nice kind of a texture to them. Feel good in the palm, boys. So again, this is linked down there in the description below if you want to head over to the controller builder and spec out one of these bad boys to your liking. If you enjoyed this video, it was entertaining and informative for you guys. Liking the video helps it to get seen by more people, helps me to grow my channel, which I greatly appreciate, encourages me to keep creating content like this. Subscribe for more gaming peripheral reviews. I do headsets, keyboards, mice, also do a lot of tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as news around the gaming community and industry, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.